one-run games and maybe the finale against Samford, which I feel some of the guys said they feel like they sort of gave away a little bit. You just
we didn't sort of give away. We gave it away.
yeah.
And really, one of those games against Mississippi State, we had 11 free bases, and they scored 2 runs in the 7th and 8th, really off of no legitimate hit. I mean, they got a bouncer up the middle that our shortstop, Jake Hansen, knocked down, which, I mean, I still felt like we could have made a play on, and they counted that as a hit, but I mean, that was it. And they wind up scoring a run in the 7th and a run in the 8th. So, but offensively is where we're struggling, I think, the most. And granted, we faced some really good arms this past weekend, which I think is going to continue to help us throughout the year and hopefully here in the near future. But that Mississippi State game, we still only scored 2 runs, and then in the Samford game we scored 3, and it was only because they gave us stuff. It wasn't because we earned it. They gave that to us. So we've got to do a little bit more putting pressure on the other team and really just scoring runs on our own efforts. And then I think that gives the pitchers a little bit more margin for error too.
So make it a pretty big weekend this weekend to sort of be able to turn close games into victories and not do things that are going to hurt yourself.
And I think you're always looking for that, and I don't know that you can ever get away from that. Each and every game, I think that's it's the simple object is you got to score 1 more run than the opposing team. So we've got to do a better job of again creating runs and things like that for ourselves, because we've done a good job up until that last Samford game of cashing in when the other team has opened the door for us, but we've had to wait till the other team kind of opened the door for us. And Samford opened the door that last game, and we didn't walk through it.
You've juggled some things in your lineup, just looking for the right combination. I mean, as far as putting Craig up top occasionally and things, are you finding something, or you still need to?
I'm still looking. This was my fear coming into the season. We had 5 guys returning from last year. Talbot and Cianfrocco, McHugh, Craig, and Oliver that had some playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it was a little bit more than others, but all of them had a propensity to strike out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was what was really strong about our 2012 team, is that you had Spillner, Charles, Perkins, Plawecki. Their first 4 guys didn't really strike out a whole lot. Some of them were really tough to strike out. And then you had some guys at the, Miller at the bottom of the order. Even Dixon didn't strike out a ton. So you had a number of bats in the lineup that didn't strike out. And then I had, all the new guys coming in, freshmen plus, Hudnall. In the fall, we didn't strike out too much. Even the Olivers and some of those guys, and a lot of the new guys. Well, what we're doing now, I think, is we're striking out too much. So trying to put together a lineup that is going to put the ball in play a little bit more consistently, trying to pack your speed a little bit together. Mm-hmm. You don't have a whole lot of options. You like to keep Craig and Talbot together, but I guess in summary, we basically have a lot of 7, 8, 9 hole hitters that we're trying to put in some other positions that if you hit 1 or 2, you got to put the ball in play.
Yeah.
And you got to be maybe strike out 1 every double-digit plate appearance, and we just got to do a little bit better job of that. And then our middle of the order guys, we got to drive the ball a little bit better, get behind it, but we'll get there. We're not far off. Mm-hmm. We've been in really every game except 1, and but you're right, we got to find a way to kind of win those games and get that 1 more run than the opponent.
What do you think of Jordan Minch after his improvement from game 1 to game 2 in the starts?
Fantastic. I think even the outing that he had in relief was a positive step. Although the bar was set pretty low after his first start, so I think I could have even stepped over that bar. But he was pretty dominating, and he fell behind a pretty good hitter 2-0, and you got to tip your hat. Jordan did what he needed to do. He came in, and that guy connected. But if they don't get that, they didn't have anything else really going against him. So he was pretty dominating. Now, he's got to figure out, can he dominate a game, or can he be a dominating pitcher? And to be a dominating pitcher, he's going to have to show that consistency over the course of, a string of games or a season, and hopefully not just be able to dominate a game here or there. So
he's got a pretty high ceiling, right? I mean, he can be pretty good.
He's got a very high ceiling, and you know, he's got to continue to minimize the free bases, which he's done a little bit better job of. He's got that competitive fire in him. He's got the ability, and you know, I think that you know, he'll just keep improving and getting better.
What's the latest with Wood?
He did see a doctor. He did get some images on his elbow. Right now, what they feel is that it's a forearm strain. So it's not the ligament, the reconstructed ligament or anything like that. So that's a good thing. Now, the negative on that is that there's not a whole lot that you can do for a forearm strain. You just give it time. So the plan will be to give him, you know, some rest here the next couple of weeks, and then kind of get him a little bit back on a throwing progression, and then kind of see where he feels there. Now we're hoping and we're expecting that he still will be able to swing this weekend, but again, we don't want to irritate that to slow down the progress of him even getting, you know, healthy to be able to throw. So, and you know, he helps us at first base. He helps us in the outfield. So even if he's not pitching or pitching as much, he still, you know, we want him to be able to throw. He's a great guy to eat up the DH spot, but he's more valuable to us, I think, than just that.
With his history, does it make you pretty cautious about not wanting to rush him? I mean, he's had some issues, obviously.
Sure. I mean, but you know, he was 18 months out from a surgery, so you know, the timing has been great for him to be able to come back. He's had similar setbacks in his rehab. You know, now both just coming off of rehab and through rehab, so it wasn't like it was game competition, which I think he's probably a little bit more max effort and a little bit more violent when he's in game competition. But so he's had 2 stints of this before, and he's taken some rest and he's gotten better. The good thing is that he has recovered and gotten better. The bad thing is now it's the 3rd time that it's kind of come up. So we'll be cautious with him, and like I said, he's valuable to us in a lot of different ways.
You know, I felt a lot better. You know, my first start wasn't the greatest. You know, all that hype. You know, I was a little hyped up for it. You know, I come out and go 2/3 of an inning. That's the shortest out of my career. But you know, it felt good to be back and you know, do actually a lot better job.
Just you try and calm your nerves as best you possibly can that first weekend out, and obviously it didn't go quite as well as you
wanted. You know, I was a little nervous, to be honest. I was fine. I was just, it was one of those days, you know, I was just up in the zone. You know, I was trying to overthrow a little bit. And Coach Mack, you know, kind of talked to me, put me aside. You know, you just need to like slow the game down, you know, by breathing, you know, kind of just stick to the game plan.
Your second outing, the relief appearance, was a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel like you'd calmed down a little bit by that time?
Yeah, my command was a lot better. The second outing, you know, obviously the results weren't there, but you know, in the end, it's not always about results. But you know, it was a plus that my command was better.
How'd you feel this last weekend? Does it give you some confidence, you know, to have a good outing?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely a good thing, you know, having a good outing, you know, against a great team as Mississippi State. So, you know, I'm ready to get back at it on Saturday.
Just what things do you need to continue to work on, you feel like? Just making sure that command is there and keeping the ball down, things
especially
like that?
Getting ahead. Like, I faced 43 batters this year and only 22 first pitch strikes. So, throw the bullpen today, you know, just work on, you know, getting ahead.
It's pretty exciting to be a freshman, you know, get an opportunity to have such a big role on this team?
Yeah, you know, I feel, you know, it's actually really cool, you know, being a freshman, having a chance to be a weekend guy,
So between your first 2 starts, what changed in your preparation?
Nothing, you know, just kind of stay with the same thing. You know, like I said, it was just one of those days, you know, it's how baseball is, you know, I just struggle and, you know, just stay with the same thing, stick to the game plan that we have going on here.
You're playing them twice in 2 straight weekends.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I mean, now we kind of got a feeling of knowing what they got. I know we already faced their Friday night guy, and I don't know if the second guy we faced is going to be in the weekend rotation, but we kind of got to feel our pitchers, saw their hitters, we got a good scouting report on them now. So.
How do you think a strong opponent like them can help you guys out, you know, heading into Big Ten season soon?
It's good to play like good competition. It makes you better. I mean, facing the best makes you better. So I mean, I feel like we played well down there. I mean, except one game. I know we played Mississippi State real well.
Yeah.
I mean, we just gotta learn how to win this tight game. So.
All right.
You were kind of on base quite a bit before you actually did get that first knock, but a couple big hits over the course of the weekend. Did you kind of feel a bit more confident after kind of getting those first hits out of the way?
Yeah, I know. The first one was kind of relief. It was kind of like it took me forever, but I mean, me and Duncan worked all week fixing some stuff that we saw from the first weekend where I didn't have much success, and it gave me a lot more confidence at the plate, a lot more easy there, relaxed. So just building off that now.
What do you think of Jordan Minch after seeing him pitch so well that second start?
I knew, yeah, the first one, obviously wasn't his greatest, but I mean, we all know what he can do. I mean, that's Jordan, what he can do when he just stays with himself and attacks. So, I'm excited. Hopefully, you just build off that and get better and better.
Right. You think he's got a pretty high ceiling as a player in his career?
Yeah, very high ceiling. He's stuff is nasty. I mean, he just once he attacks hitters and uses it like he did against MSU State, he's gonna be really good. Because the stuff, I mean, as a hitter facing him, I mean, he's really tough to hit. So.
All right.
Is there any shared camaraderie among lefties?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I kind of joke around with everybody because I always have to face everybody no matter what. So I know, like, I'll be pitching, I'll be joining the hitters, and because I just got done facing them, I'll get mess around with them. So.
Thanks for the time, Kyle.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
But just to go through all that and to stick with it, is it nice to have it finally be paying off a little bit for you?
Yeah, it is. Like I said, my redshirt freshman year, I started getting my feet wet.
Yeah.
Had some consistent starts, and got hurt, so that it hurt. It hurt a lot, and I came very close to almost just packing it up last year, and saying maybe it's just time to concentrate on school. But I'm glad I didn't. And again, I stuck with it, and talked to my parents about it, and it would have been a really hard decision for me to say, I'm done with baseball. But I'm very, very happy that I decided to stick with it, and would give the same advice to anybody who was thinking or in my shoes, about thinking about packing it up, because it's been probably the best decision I've ever made is to stick with the game.
How do you feel like you and BK have meshed together as the double play combination?
Good. Me and BK, like I said, I got in some defensive drills last year, late in the year. We were able to work together, and then we had all fall and all winter to work together too. So I think we've meshed well. We're on the same page a lot on the field. Just kind of looking at each other, and we kind of know what each other wants to do. So yeah, there's been just kind of nonverbal communication between the two of us as far as eye contact and pointing and stuff. But we both know where each other are at, as far as the mental side of the game.
You've always been considered to be pretty good defensively. You're hitting the ball maybe a little bit better than, I won't say it for you, but at least better than I expected. Are you feeling like you're in a pretty good groove here early in the season?
Yeah, I do. Like I said, it was all part of the process. As far as coming back, like I said, coming off of that first shoulder surgery, I felt like I maybe rushed myself and was more results based than I probably should have been. And coming off of this surgery, I wanted to just make sure I saw the ball up in the zone, took good swings, had good at bats in the fall. I didn't have the numbers I wanted, but at the same time, I knew I was having good at bats. So as far as it was a process, and it still is a process. I carried it into the winter, saw pitches up in the zone, made sure I wasn't chasing out of the zone. That sort of deal, and I think it's been paying off. So.